All right. Good morning, everybody. Happy Super Bowl Sunday. Super Bowl Sunday. We're in the van. We're on time. A little bit late, a couple minutes late. Had a few extra donuts today. I think they've got almost 160 donuts in this van right now. Cute little boogers. We got our delivery spot, but we've got one delivery today. That's it. One delivery, one round, and we're ready to roll. Ready to roll. It's cold. 8 degrees. 8 degrees. I think it's going to be cold today, tomorrow, but sometime next week it's going to start warming up. So that's exciting. Got my coffee. Skies are clear. Roads on my way up were clear. These were a little dicey yesterday. So let's hope they just. Did we have sun yesterday? It's kind of sunny. Hopefully that cleared them up yesterday. You know what? This is why I don't use the high beams, because I need two hands. If I'm holding my coffee cup, I can't. If I'm holding my coffee cup, I can't easily turn the high beams on and off. Like that. So you gotta be ready.
And just a cat dog. Beautiful footage.
Hang on. My speaker. I put my speaker out, but I didn't turn it on. I can hear you though. I'm wondering if I really need this. How are you doing this morning? You ready? Are you ready for the Super Bowl? I don't watch the Super Bowl, by the way. Just in case. Just in case you get ready to ask a very.
And justacat.cs2 says it's extra dark this morning.
Oh, is it? We've got clear skies. The moon looks like maybe half a moon up there. It's not a very bright moon. Yesterday, I watched a little bit of Sean, OG Sean, up in. I mean, those folks drive around in snow like it's nothing.
Justacat.cs2 says no moon.
No moon. Oh, so do you think you have clouds? Maybe you have cloudy sky? Because you're not going to have a. Your moon wouldn't be any. You must not have clear skies. It's got to be the case. What do you think about Nancy Guthrie? Have you followed that at all? The kidnapped lady.
Justacat.cs2 says.
Yeah. Well, they haven't. I agree with you 100%. But they're still acting like she could be alive, right? I haven't heard them say that they've determined that yet for certain. But I agree with you completely that that is the case. Especially after the last night, I think they put out another video with the three children together, and just the way they're talking. I think they know based on the way they're sort of talking in that last video. It's crazy though how stories like that just go nuts.
Cat.cs2 says they most likely preparing the family before the release to the media.
Yeah, but I don't know I don't think they've got her. I don't think they know. Like, I think everybody knows that she's, and I think that even the kidnappers, I think, have indicated that she's dead. I think they all know that. I think everybody knows that. I agree. But I don't think they have her body. So I'm wondering if the kidnappers, or whoever it is still, or whoever, maybe she wasn't even kidnapped. You know what I mean? Maybe it was just a murder and somebody took her body. But this whole kidnap thing is totally separate. You know what I mean? Except for the fact that they know stuff in the house. I don't know. It's a lot of weird stuff. It's very weird. I get so many weird things. But like when I sign on to YouTube, my homepage, which is, I guess, what everybody...
Cat.cs2 says there was blood, looks like she fought back.
Yeah, you mean the blood that was like outside of the house, that drops? It looks like something happened.
Cat.cs2 says yes, by the garage, and they took the car.
Yeah, they took her car. That's right. That was the last thing they did. Or during that last visit. It just seems so weird. And that the last video that the kids made looks very different from the first one. Like that first video that they made, they were all sitting, they were all kind of separate. They didn't really interact with each other. They all had their own thing to say. But this video that came out last night, they're all like huddled together, holding hands. The one sister like can't even look at she closes her eyes. She's not really looking at the camera, which is fine. I mean, I'm not saying they should, but it's just the feeling that you get from that last video. They seem in a much different mood. I feel like they know that she's been murdered. But I think they're I don't think they're letting on to that because they probably want to still try to capture whoever it is that's doing all this stuff. It's interesting. It is interesting, but it's kind of weird at the same time that people get so focused on it. The whole country, like a lot of the country is like on pins and needles waiting to find out what happens to me.
Cat.cs2 says yes, I agree. Lawyers most likely prep them.
Yeah, I think they probably did. Wrote the whole thing for them.
Cat.cs2 says how to look behind the camera.
Yeah. That's interesting. That's interesting stuff. So there's the Puppy Bowl comes on at 2 o'clock. I probably will watch parts of that. I think that usually lasts a couple hours, 2 or 3 hours. I don't watch that whole thing, but I do like to see parts of it.
Cat.cs2 says you started telling you watched Option.
Oh yeah, I was watching his live yesterday. I think it was the first time he's tried to do the YouTube live stream and DoorDash at the same time. I think that's what he was trying to do, but it's not easy. I mean, John makes it look easy, but it's not easy. I mean, but it started out, he was like in a parking garage. I think so he was undercover because it was and not just Sean, but I mean, people in general up in Massachusetts, it was a pretty decent amount of snow and they're just driving around like it was nothing. I mean, I would say we probably handle it a little better than I mean, just our streets get cleared up a little faster than like down in North Carolina. But we look pretty sad compared to Massachusetts. They were just riding I mean, I think they were going at speed. I mean, it looked like it.
At Justicat.cs2 says yeah, I think he's a pro in his area.
Well, he does, and he drives a lot. I mean, even for his other job, I think he's out on the road a lot, driving around. I got up like super early today. I fell asleep yesterday. I don't know exactly what time. It was after I fed AJ. And I didn't wake back. I mean, normally this would be like when I would take like a couple hour nap, maybe. Well, this turned. I didn't wake up until.
CS2 says I didn't get a notification for it, but I'll see later.
Oh yeah, you can see it later. But yeah, I was up super early today because I just slept all night. Like I got a lot of sleep last night, actually. It's not common thing for me. I was up by like sometime between 12:30 and 1 o'clock. I woke up. And then I figured I might as well just stay up. So I did. Till I think I got a little thrown off yesterday because at some point during the day, the electricity at my house must have gone off for a minute or two. Not for a long time, but it was long enough for the clocks. I have a clock in my bedroom.
Cat.cs2 says, yeah, you were MIA early yesterday.
Yeah, I did. But I try to go and feed AJ, and then I'm like kind of back and forth usually, watching and working with him, and then I think I laid down for a second, and that was it. I was done. And I didn't wake up until. And it's weird because I had not adjusted my clocks. So I have two clocks in the house. Most of my clocks will automatically adjust themselves, but I have two that don't, and one of them is in my bedroom. So I wake up and I'm like, I look at the clock and I think it said 9 o'clock. So I thought, oh, I wonder if John is still driving, right? I walked out into the bedroom where I have my, where the TV is set, or the PC is actually attached to the TV, but I go in there and it's that screen. It's showing the screen where, like once the live stream is over, it kind of comes up and gives you a screen that gives you a few other videos you might be interested in watching, that kind of thing. Like, oh, he must have ended early. And then I realized the clock in my bedroom was not right. And that it was actually, I think it was like 12:50 or something like that. It was close to 1 o'clock. So I think I probably got close to 7 or 8 hours of sleep, which is pretty amazing for me. I didn't get my 20,000 steps in, though. I'm pretty disappointed about that. So I was fully intending on going back and getting back on the treadmill and watching some more of John's drive last night. But, of course, I wake up, and when I woke up, it was past 12 o'clock. So I can't get any more steps for that day. I'm really kind of OCD about this. It's like I got to get 20,000 steps. So normally if I wake up and it's like, oops, sorry about that. Normally if I wake up and it's like, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and I still have to get steps, I'll go in and get on the treadmill until I get to 20,000 steps, at least. But I didn't have that opportunity because it was after midnight. So I'm kind of bummed out. My total step count yesterday was like, and I was so close. I was like 19,300 something. I mean, it was like, I could have done it. I could have done it if I just woke up. But I didn't. Oh well. Very quiet on the road this morning.
Cat.cs2 says I think it's okay to miss a little so you don't hit a plateau.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, and I needed it yesterday. I mean, that was good that I slept yesterday, I think. My body kind of needed that.
Cat.cs2 says and you need sleep too.
Yeah. That is true.
Cat.cs2 says I would have said jinx but TTS lady is so slow long.
Yeah, you really, it's way too long. So my idea, here's what I'm thinking about with that. I know that I want to get a new phone. I don't need to, but I want to get a new phone. Because the one I'm using right now, the one I'm using for a camera right now is
Cat.cs2 says you should change your voice to the Cookie Monster voice law.
I'm not sure I could do the Cookie Monster. I probably could. But the camera I'm using right now is a Samsung. The phone is a Samsung S21. So it is 5 years old. And it's about time. I was starting to look at other phones. And I was thinking about getting a new phone now to use just for filming. Because I need two phones in the car to do this right. So I was going to wait. I was going to get that. Well, I started looking at phones. And the S25 is a good phone. But they're getting ready to come out with the S26. And normally I think they come out in January, but there's some kind of schedule. They're behind schedule. There's something on the schedule. They have to delay it. So it's not going to come out until the end, not the end. I think at the end of February, you'll be able to buy it online, I think. And it's going to be available by the middle of March. I think that's what they were saying. So it's roughly a month away. And I'm thinking about waiting until that phone comes out. Because they don't have a lot of information about it yet. But one of the things I have read people say is that there's something about the video capability that's
yes,
better.
Wait for 26. Worth it to wait.
Yeah, I think, yeah, good. I was leaning toward that. I think I am definitely going to do that. It's only a month.
Cat.cs2 says Samsung is great for YouTube.
Yeah, I think it is. I think the video looks pretty good. I mean, John's looks great. I think this looks okay.
Cat.cs2 says sometimes my godfathers use it for theirs.
I mean, I think they look as good as that. I mean, to get a better picture, I think you'd have to spend a lot of money on a camera, and I'm not going to do that at this point.
And justicat.cs2 says this is a nice view, Cray.
Yeah, we got it. This is the open road. It's a pretty easy ride on Sunday morning. It's starting to get lighter earlier. That's a good thing.
Justicat.cs2 says the light sky between the trees back there was amazing.
Yeah, it's kind of sun. I think it's going to be a pretty neat looking sunrise. We just get it to warm up a little bit, it'll be good. It has been a cold winter. When I first woke up, and when I got the computer turned on, I started checking things out. Aaron was still on. I watched the end of his, I think he had one delivery. I think we made one delivery. I just watched. I didn't really jump in. Everybody on he had like 75 people watching or something. But all the people that were chatting in his live stream, they were all moderators. Everybody was blue, except like one person popped up every now and then, made a comment. But he must make a lot of people moderators because they were all blue. I mean, it was maybe there probably were only a handful of people that were talking. But they were all blue. Some new potholes on this road. When he ends his stream, or at least the way he did it today, he drives home, and he drives into his garage, and ends the stream sitting in his car in the garage. See, I don't have the ability to like have that wrap up conversation. Like he did that too. I guess because at the end of a DoorDash run, everybody kind of wants to know what the numbers were and all that stuff, which is kind of cool. I think so far for the week, like he had, including his drive today, it just ended, he had like $1,300. And he's got whatever he does today to add to that. So he does pretty well out there. But he does reject a lot of orders. That was kind of funny. He's like, nope, not going there. Nope, not going to go there. Let's see. It's Sunday. I'm going to call them.
Sires007 says, good morning, Craig. I am from the UK. What is your channel about?
Hey, good morning. What I do on this channel, I deliver. We just made it to my delivery spot, so they're going to open that door in a second, I think. I drive for a bakery, and so I drive around in the mornings super early and deliver donuts and Danish, bakery stuff, sweet bakery stuff, like not bread, but kind of dessert type of donuts, Danish, cakes, cookies, eclairs. And today I just have one location that I deliver to. Some days I have three. Look, they're there. All right. Let me jump out of here and drop this stuff off. So right now I'm just going to load up this rack and take their stuff in. But I'm in Maryland, and it is very cold in Maryland.
007 says, okay, that's awesome, mate. I have subbed to your channel.
Oh, cool. Well, thank you. That's nice. Let me get the tray out here. Yeah, I'm out here every day, except Thursday. I usually have Thursdays. Thursdays I don't drive. Here, let me go get you. Just give you a little picture. Here's my van. Say that's my van. Bertuco's Bakery. And I'm not pictured on there. Jennifer and Bob own the bakery. Kate is my niece. Janet is I call her my sister in life. Because she was married to my brother, but they're not married anymore. That's not me, by the way. That was Jennifer's father, because he used to drive the van. That's some of the Danish that I'm taking in there. Here's the rack. So what I do is that's our delivery. So if you look, today's the Super Bowl. So we got some Super Bowl stuff in there. So I will be taking those trays, loading up that rack, and rolling it in. I probably would have done this yesterday, but it was yesterday when I was here, we had like 25-mile-an-hour winds. It was crazy. I didn't even roll that rack out because if you noticed, it had like a plastic cover. And even on a semi-windy day, I've almost lost that cover.
007 says, great artwork on the van, lovely donuts.
Yeah, these are some good donuts. These are top quality donuts. All right, let's try it. They're getting a pretty good delivery today too, because I think they're expecting.
Sires007.
you guys just as many Danish as yesterday. Some good stuff. Look, these are the cinnamon rolls. They're my favorite. Not my favorite, but pretty good stuff. Like, I couldn't eat a whole one. I try, but I probably won't. Probably in here wondering why it took so long to load up there. Good morning. How are you? I'm good. Super Bowl Sunday.
Oh, I forgot. So Super Bowl.
You forgot?
I mean, I'm not big into football.
No, me either.
It's a sea turtle. Sea turtle.
Sea turtles.
Sorry.
No, it's the sea monkeys.
As soon as it came out, I was like, that's not right. Sea turtle.
The sea turtles. All right, well, have a good one.
You know what?
Oh my God. Sea turtles. I don't even know who's playing. It's pretty pathetic. There we go. Whew. I think they open at 7, so they've got 15 minutes. They're in there like prepping stuff. Is this my music? It's weird. So I play the music that you're going to hear during this ride. It's not famous music. It's got to be license free, otherwise YouTube will get a copyright strike. But this song is unfamiliar to me.
Sire007 says I support the Denver Broncos. They are doing well this year, top of their division.
Top of their division, but Super Bowl is today. Are they they're not in the Super Bowl, are they? Who's playing in the Super? I don't even know who's playing in the Super Bowl. That's how it's embarrassing. Are they? How'd you get interested in the Denver Broncos?
Sire007 says no, sadly they are not in the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay. Oh, but they were on the top of their. Okay, I'm with you. I follow you. Yeah, it's a big day. It's like a mini holiday in the U.S. And the game,
Sire007 says I used to live in the States from 2012 to 2013 in Los Angeles, so people I knew there got me into the NFL.
that explains it. That explains it. Yeah, I mean, I enjoy like the social event of it. Like, well, this year I'm not going to a Super Bowl party, but in the past I have. So I like just hanging out, and it's exciting if your home team is involved. Like for me, the Ravens, Baltimore Ravens, would be the team that I follow. But now that it's like my whole schedule has sort of shifted so that I'm a morning person. I've always been a morning person, but like I'm an extreme morning person now. So the football, the Super Bowl football game is, I don't think it starts until like 6 or maybe 6 or 7. And it's a very late night for somebody that gets up super early. I might try to catch parts of it. The commercials are always fun. They usually have some pretty good commercials. Then you have the halftime show. The halftime shows have been getting a little strange.
Sire007 says Seahawks versus Patriots today in the Super Bowl. Are the Ravens Baltimore right?
Oh yeah, the Patriots is, yeah. That's what they yeah, the girl that was in the restaurant we just delivered to. I think she meant to say Seahawks. But what did she say? I said sea monkeys. What did she say? She referenced them incorrectly. It was pretty funny.
C says despite the fact that I am a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, I think we can still be friends. Hello, all.
Hey, Mookie, good morning. Happy Super Bowl Sunday. Yeah, Baltimore and Pittsburgh, that's true. That's a pretty intense rivalry there.
Sire007 says at Mookie C lol GTSY.
Now, I have two brothers that are extreme football
CS2
fans.
says good morning at Mookie C.
So I'm in the middle. I've got an older brother and a younger brother, and they're both intense about their football, baseball. Like, I'll go to the games and I'll watch, but they're extreme.
Sire007 says my friend supports the Bills. She was not happy when the Broncos beat them 2 weeks back. Lol.
Yeah. It is funny.
Team C says hello to you. At ChrisSires007 and at Justicat.cs2.
We got the UK in the van. We're international now.
Sire007 says cheers Mookie Mick.
And do things shut down on Sunday in the UK? I was talking to somebody from France not long ago who was telling me that in France, like the whole weekend is pretty much, banks, stores, all that stuff shuts down. Now I remember in the United States when we used to do that on Sunday. But we don't even do that anymore. There are only a handful of places that do Sunday now.
Sire007 says we have rugby in the UK. It's basically NFL but without safety gear, and it's scary when players get injured. I think they should update rugby for safety reasons, and yeah, Sunday 4 p.m. shops close.
Yeah. Yeah, rugby looks pretty intense. It looks when they run around a little bit more than the football. Football is just a lot of very short spurts of activity. Isn't rugby like a little more like soccer? They're out there running around the whole time. Or football. You would call it football. But I don't know much about rugby. And yeah, you're right. Our football players are pretty much suited up for battle.
Team C says the UK has really cool things. I enjoy watching their TV shows like Taskmaster.
Yeah, they have I like the UK sense of humor.
Sire007 says yeah, I used to play soccer as a kid, as rugby is for crazy people. Rugby is very similar to NFL as they have scrums where players all go into each other. I think NFL evolved from rugby's rules.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Sire007 says at Mukim C some things are good, but we have a problem with poverty here is not much work, sadly.
Yeah, we have some areas where poverty. I think our biggest struggle recently had been the immigration stuff, but you're having that too.
Team C says that is unfortunate. At Chrisires007. Do you have gig work like DoorDash or other services?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Sires007 says most Brits are on something called universal credit. It pays people $1,500 a month basic income to survive.
Really? Huh. And is that enough to survive? Like, I don't know what the cost of living is like. I gotta fix that light. Got a green light out. DoorDash is a pretty cool idea. But you know, I see I see an increase in the number of news stories that we're going to see where people, you know, door dashers have done something to somebody's food. You know that one story that came out, I forget what the first person did. There've been a couple of stories where they've just found somebody, or you know, I think they sprayed something like pepper spray on somebody's food or something. And then I just saw another one recently where somebody, like, they were doing something unsanitary.
Says, I have heard that the cost of electricity and home heating is high in many places in the UK.
Oh, really? It's supposed to be going down here a little bit. I haven't seen it anything really dramatic happen to my electric bill or gas. I have gas for heat. It's been pretty steady. It hasn't gone up. But it's I try to leave my door cracked open in the morning, like when
Sire 007 says at Mukimsi, yeah, most people have heating turned off as it's expensive, $200 a month just for heating. And Craig, that happens here with people tampering with food. I never order online anymore for food.
so they do have you do have something equivalent to DoorDash though. See, I think they're trying to send out these robots now. I think they're called Dot, maybe, or something, but it's basically like a little robot that rides around and delivers the food. And we've seen them, and they don't seem to be doing such a good job. I mean, the real life people following them around, they look kind of comical. They don't go that fast. They get a little confused about whether a car is parked or not. I mean, all kinds of stuff. The person has to come out and get their food.
Marfredo says hello from France.
Hey, France. Good morning or good afternoon. But yeah, I think that there's going to be a concerted effort to kind of push more stories about anything they could find with people tampering with the food, because they want to push the robot idea, I think. Sure, they're spending a lot of money building those little robots.
Sire 007 says yeah, Deliveroo, Uber Eats and Just Eat are the companies we have, and I think that's a better idea for safety to have a robot or drone delivering the food. And hello to at Jean-Marfredo. At Mukimsi says hello from the United States, at Jean-Marfredo. At Jean-Marfredo says yes, it's 13.04H here. Marfredo says at Craycray 007 hi. At Jean-Marfredo says at Mukimsi hi. At Justicat.cs2 says hi at Jean-Marfredo.
Hey, and I see this lady pronounces it wrong too.
Sire
It's really Jean.
007 says cheers Jean-Marc Bordeaux.
It's not really
At
Jean.
Jean-Marfredo says at Justicat.cs2 hi.
She's not pronouncing it right. Jean. I know it's really supposed to be Jean. Maybe I'll have to pick the voice of someone that has a French accent and see if they say it right. That'd be kind of cool. You know what would be nice? If the text-to-speech program could tell where somebody was coming from.
Says it's a robot anyway. At Craycray 007 says the reason why in the UK it's a good idea, Craig, is we have people who are here undocumented, and you can imagine having one of those people delivering your food. It can be unsafe.
Yeah. Well, we've got that too. Less of it now, though. I will say we're trying to get that under control. But yeah, I see what you're saying. That does create a problem. Yesterday, this section of the road was quite treacherous because we had a little bit of snow the night before, and then yesterday was so windy. The snow, which was very light, was just blowing across the road, laying on the road.
Sire007 says I've seen the truckers who have no CDL as I follow truckers on YouTube and one somehow flipped the semi-truck upside down lol. At Jean-Marfredo says
Yeah.
I am trying to visit the United States at the moment.
Where are you going to visit? Like, do you have a specific location in mind? Or are you just going to, or are you going to spend some time and wander around the country?
PC says I didn't think the name Jean sounded very French. It's because it is being pronounced by an American robot.
Yes, that's correct.
Jean-Marfredo says you have to nominate a state as we need a visa now from Europe to visit the US.
So you're saying before you visit, you have to choose, you have to tell us which state you're going to come into and visit? And then do you have to stay in that state? That seems a little inconvenient.
Sire007 says Jean was British but
My mother had a pen pal from the
He says, do you
UK.
want to see American parks or experience entertainment or do you want to gamble at Jean-Marfredo? At Jean-Marfredo says well you nominate your state you're visiting but free to visit other places.
Oh, well, that's good. That's good. Yeah, my mom had a pen pal in the UK who came to visit her in 1975. And the good thing is, like being in Maryland, we're like a day's trip away from Washington, D.C. You can get down to Washington in an hour by car. So you got Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, New York is not that far away, New York City, Eastern Shore, you get to the Atlantic Ocean, Gettysburg. It's a lot of historical stuff around. But if you want to see, like, you know, you got Las Vegas, you got the West Coast too. It's very, very nice. Anywhere, really, they're all across the country. It's a lot to see. Got the Grand Canyon. Florida.
Team C says normally, people want to visit Florida or California for the theme parks and the warmth.
Yeah. That's true.
Dash Marfredo says going to visit the theme parks, Niagara Falls. But I have been to the US before, now you need to give your fingerprints now on your application.
Yeah, we're trying to tighten up our control. Well, it would be neat if you came over. You have to let us know where you're going to go. And we can follow you on your trip. Snow. We need the snow to melt. I'm getting tired of looking at it.
Dash Marfredo says it's Florida preferred choice right now.
Florida. I would say if you're going to do Florida, you want to do that like in the winterish time. You don't want to go there in the middle of summer. It gets pretty hot. All right, folks, we're back at the bakery. How'd we do today? Yeah, about an hour. All right, well, I appreciate everybody stopping in to say hi this morning. That was fun. I will be back tomorrow every day. I'm out here every day delivering these donuts. Tomorrow is Monday, so I'll have 3 deliveries, most likely. And I start a little earlier. I start at 5:15 Eastern.
Team C says will you
Time.
be driving or flying to the different locations? If you have the time, you could travel by car or by railroad to see more.
Yeah, starting in Florida, you got the whole East Coast if you get up, or you could fly over to anywhere else. That's true. That's true. And the railroad. I think the railroad. I know the railroad goes down there. I don't know how extensively. Spreads it like the East Coast. I don't know if it goes over the West Coast of that state.
Dash Marfredo says glad I managed to pop in this morning.
Yes, definitely, Gene.
Team C says thanks for the drive, Craig. See you next time. At justacat.cs2 says happy to see everyone. Have a great day.
All right, you all do the same. If you're watching the Super Bowl, I hope you have a good time. I will probably be sleeping. Maybe. You never know. Depends on what happens with my nap.
Justacat.cs2 says thank you so much, Craig. Have a good day.
All right, you all do the same. Thanks for stopping by.
Gene
Appreciate it.
Marfredo says drive safely everyone.